we have Fusro die yet, or is it? Yeah, we do. We do.
Do we have that shout that just sent everybody flying? Yeah.
Well, he was meant.
No, I meant the. Yeah, I meant all three. Like the
yeah.
The full version's pretty great, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the high watermark of all the shouts in the game.
No surprise that it's the one
start.
that, yeah, I'm sure that's why. They were like, holy cow, this whole shout system is really boring. Let's take the one good one and just give it to the player, and they'll spend the rest of the game looking for another good one.
Right here, you guys.
You know, I'm not going to dump on the shouts, mostly because I never bothered, but, you guys mentioned there was one that turns to ethereal. What does that actually do in
Basically
Skyrim?
makes you invisible
invulnerable
for, a little while.
There's also one that gives you invulnerability briefly. There's a few other. There's enough interesting ones that if you know where to find.
There's one that gives you invulnerability, and then there's also one that gives you invulnerability briefly. What?
Right. Okay, so
Confused.
Yeah. I'm just confused by ethereal there because that's like ethereal's like a classic D&D thing.
Good going there, Lydia. I took no damage, and you managed to kill yourself.
It's been around since modern heroic fantasy.
Oh God!
Thing, and it doesn't.
Jeez, are you trying to kill me?
Basically, ethereal
it doesn't.
No clipping.
It doesn't give you.
Yeah, it makes it so you can't take damage from any source, but if you like try to interact with anything, I think you cancel it, or it's just.
Yeah. If you try to like swing your sword, I believe it cancels it. It's been a while since I've used it, but really, when I was playing the mage, since the DPS is so crappy for high-level mages, I would basically, you know, do that, have the dragon breathe fire, and then attack. You know, use my magic, and then use that spell again, become ethereal, let the dragon breathe his fire, and then do that back and forth until the dragon is dead.
It's good to know that at least one semi-magical effect has some kind of application. Like, I really was disappointed with the support spells in this game. Even invisibility. Like, I would turn myself invisible when I was overwhelmed, and enemies would still be able to find me. That's not a glitch, right? That's just how it's supposed to work.
That's because of the quirk of how sneaking works in Bethesda games since forever, where if you're not sneaking when you're invisible, it apparently doesn't count.
Yeah, so you have to crouch. When you turn invisible, you have to crouch, and then you're in stealth mode.
It's really stupid.
Invisible?
I wish they would just get rid of that whole thing.
Well, I think... oh, there's a speech book in a thematically appropriate dungeon. That's kind of something.
The goddamn arrow. Why can't I take it?
Are you seriously wasting our time for an iron arrow?
Apparently. It was cool. I wanted to pick it up, and it just fell.
I mean, you know, to be fair, he has been using the bow more. I feel like I'm defending, like, a kid who spends all of his time, like, collecting baseball cards.
Glad you got my back there, Red
collecting
Stern.
Pokemon cards. And then he's like, and the parents are just like, well, you know, he does get him off the street.
So you may have noticed that we've kind of already abandoned our punch build here.
Yeah.
It just doesn't scale well. We might go back to it after we get heavy armor up a little bit higher and get that perk, but
it's most fun when you're fighting bandits anyway.
Yeah.
So we've switched our major from communications to business at the last minute, is what you're saying?
Basically. Did this Draugr bleed everywhere? How inconsiderate.
I agree with Rutsker, and I wish, especially for the dragon shouts. Like, if you're gonna have wacky spells, the dragon shouts would have been a great place to do that, because it wouldn't be part of the core magic upgrade path.
Okay, this is clearly a trap up here. Where's the damn switch?
I think part of it is that in the past, the series has had a lot more I mean, Morrowind had such exotic, crazy, game-breaking, go ahead, do whatever you want, levitate, teleport, all these crazy spells, and I think they're trying to rein those in, and they don't want to take too many away in each game, lest you piss people off, but at the same time, they each game they've stepped away from those a little more towards just damage and healing.
Yeah, I think the apex of the game's freedom, it would probably be Arena's pass wall spell. Like, the first game literally had a spell that would allow you to just destroy dungeon walls. And since the game was just one big generic dungeon set built out of, you know, sub-Doom technology, that worked out.
It's like just mining in Minecraft, basically. It just...
Yeah.
Doesn't...
You remove a block.
Doesn't hurt it. Yeah. Yeah, like, how would that even work? You'd need some kind of crazy system to allow you to blast open a wall here. You'd need all kinds of crazy procedural tunneling technology. That's the last thing Bethesda needs, is a bunch more complicated technology on top of this Rube Goldberg engine they've got.
Yeah, I mean, and they even took it out in Daggerfall, and they specifically said the reasons weren't because it was hard to do with a new engine, but because, you know, and this is entirely fair, it broke their game.
Yeah.
You know, there were walls that were pass wall proofed, but often you could get through a dungeon in like a tenth of the time if you knew where to cast it.
In fairness, Rutskarn, what you've talked about Arena Dungeons, it kind of seems like it needed to be broken a little bit.
Oh, you fucking kidding me? I bought a Tanto of pass wall, first fucking thing, and then I looked up on. I would go online and I would just go off the maps after like my fourth dungeon. I would just play straight from the maps because I couldn't take it anymore.
What were you gonna say, Chris?
Well, I just think that Bethesda games in particular are kind of prone to this sort of breaking, and I don't know if preventing players from being able to cheese is necessarily a desirable goal in these kinds of games. I mean, because you can look at Morrowind, and you know, the fastest world record playthroughs of Morrowind are like 20 minutes, because you can do that or maybe it's 40, but you do that thing where you
they're
get
like
3 minutes.
3 minutes, 3.5 minutes.
and
yeah, it's ridiculous.
basically all you do is you get that stupid, you basically cheese the magic system to beat the game super early.
And I love that. I love knowing that. I mean, I don't do it, but I love being in a game world where that is possible.
Come on, Lydia.
It somehow makes it better.
You're like, oh shit, I almost forgot to.
Are you serious?
Josh
Oh
is a
god.
bad kitty.
This is some I have no mouth and I'm a scream shit here.
I do have to wonder who was in here enchanting.
Draugrs. Draugr shamans. I
Obviously
don't know.
they were going to enchant that badass troll skull to be an ashtray or something.
I like that you have to have an enchanted ashtray.
Let's have an even more ridiculous looking helmet. Yeah. Hi, Lydia. What's up?
I've got
Here, you can have the cultist mask.
How can
I like the idea that Draugr are in here taking perfectly good axes and turning them and enchanting them so they're Nordic axes of extra heaviness and bluntness. That is horrible.
Let's get going then.
Thank you for your awful helmets, Bethesda, you horrible people.
This door is sealed by a magical barrier. Dragon magic has no effect because bullshit.
Yes, this appears to be a rare strain of
I want
plot
to
magic.
Punch this guy. Punch. Punch.
I just can't help but think that this game either needs to be like way more embracing of player freedom or way more embracing of like a serious storyline, because it splits the difference in a really bad way at pretty much every juncture.
I
Like
agree.
the plot is super bland and generic, and the gameplay is super constrained in a lot of places where everybody's invulnerable, and it's like, this is not a good compromise. This is... I would rather have a... If the story's going to be this generic, I would just as soon have it be, you know, basically procedural.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is if we're so embracing player, expression and player freedom and make your own story, why don't we make a game that's basically a big simulation sandbox where players can make their own stories? And
I
focus on
agree.
that.
Let's do it, Chris. You and me.
All we need is another $250 million, and we can do this.
That's what Kickstarter's for.
What's up with the space sword floating around?
Space sword.
Swords in space.
That is an iron absurd sword. That is an iron spectacular sword.
Oh, look!
I don't
Let's see if I can
know
get this
why that
open
just
without
came
running
up
out of
there.
lockpicks.
Sorry. I apologize.
Never mind.
That was an expert lock, and you opened it with
Yeah,
one
here's a
pick?
master.
Oh my goodness, you get a high five. Internet high five, Joshua.
Well, don't worry, I'm sure I'll use like 15 picks on this.
I've said before I do like this lockpicking game. They've been carrying this along since Fallout 3. I like it even a little better here than I liked it in Fallout 3. Feels like
Yeah,
lock.
I like that you can attempt the lock at any skill level. I really like that part.
Yes. Yes.
See, the thing I
It
hate
just
about
wouldn't
it
work
is
for this game otherwise. Because you've got to practice your lockpicking somehow, and if your lockpicking is low, then you wouldn't be able to practice it on any locks, because everything would be above you. It just wouldn't work out.
what bothers me about it is that the higher difficulty ones are harder because it's a narrower angle you have to find.
Yeah.
But also the higher difficulty ones make you feel like an idiot because the higher difficulty ones make it so that you
damn it.
insta-snap the pick as soon as you don't get the right angle. Like, oh, it's a
Yeah.
master lock. Let me just jab this as hard as I can. Oop, I broke another lock pick. Let me jab this as hard as oop, broke another lock pick.
Yeah, the one thing that has to be said is that no matter how good you are at this system is at least partially trial and error.
We still got
Normally
8 picks
I'd be
left.
bored and
Damn
wanting
it!
to fast forward through this, but this is actually really good. Keep
This
doing
is riveting.
guys.
I want to see if he gets it before he runs out. This is riveting.
This is like way better than Deus Ex's hacking stuff.
Yeah. 15 picks. Good call, Josh.
None of this shit is
Look at that.
good.
No, it's a bunch of vendor trash. All of it
I'm not
bullshit.
even gonna take the banded iron shield with
Okay,
me. It's too
here
heavy.
is a set of mods I love. Out of the way, Lydia. A set of mods. What is it? Realistic armors and realistic weapons. Oh my goodness! If
Yes.
you like the mod, get that. It just introduces a huge variety to the armors in the game, and it doesn't sound like that big a deal. Like, I was like, oh, that'd be nice, and after 10 minutes, I was like, this is the best mod ever. Just because you don't have that Attack of the Clones feel. Everybody kind of feels a little different. There's a huge variety of everything, so everything feels a little new. It's like, oh, this is great, and oh, this is interesting, and maybe I'll swing this for a while.
Yeah, I also have immersive armors, and the thing, I really appreciate how they don't commit the
That's
sin
it,
of most,
immersive,
like,
not a realistic.
they
Yeah,
don't combine the
immersive.
sin of
Immersive
most
armor
mod
weapons,
makers,
yeah.
which is just
Lydia!
like dropping all of their stuff
What
in
are
a
you?
chest somewhere.
Oh crap!
They seed it not only in chests and loot containers throughout the game, but also on people like guards,
Yeah.
bandits, that sort of thing. And it feels
Oh,
very
yeah, so
different
what-
when you walk into a Stormcloak. Like a Stormcloak nest, and they've all got different helmet. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So town guards don't look all the same, but they've all got a uniform. They've got the base armor on, but then they have different helmets, and you're like, oh, this guy looks different from this guy, and it doesn't feel like one guard copy pasted all over the place. Oh, I just love that mod, and just a huge, and yeah, they seed it throughout the world, so it feels like a natural part of the game.
I also appreciate that the white fur cowls cover the boob window of the fur armor, which makes Frostfall that much more immersive.
Yes.
Because otherwise, come on!
No, I'm
You have
worried
an
that this
armor
will
specifically made out of warm material, And it's
and you
got a
leave
boob
your
window.
heart. You leave your heart uncovered.
I want to see a fur armor mod that makes all the male fur armors have the boob window and all, and none of.
You know, I actually did before I was playing Frostfall. I did kind of want to do a barbarian Conan, like just run around in a loincloth, but I wanted some armor on and just a huge sword. And there's like one armor like that in the game, and it's, you know, the lowest tier light armor. It's not heavy armor, and it's crappy. So I never went very far with that build, but it was a fun idea.
Jen and I are
what's up,
playing
Ghost
Icewind
Dude?
Dale 2, which is one of those games where you create an entire party and then you go through together. But for my 3 characters, I went sort of by just choosing portraits, like from their gallery of solemn, serious-looking adventurers, and coming up with backstories based on their appearance. And one of them was like this dude with like this iron helmet, like with a face, like the guard helmets in this game, but no shirt. And I ended up just calling him the hunk in the iron mask. His thing was this: he was so pretty that on his 18th birthday, he encased his head permanently in a steel mask so that no one would ever be tormented by his hotness again. But then the girls completely stopped paying attention to him, so he took his shirt off and started working out. And it's evened out about right now.
So I don't know about you guys, but I feel like a bard. You see, we picked up a book
Yeah.
that had a song.
Did you see
in it
me
with
yelling
no
all those
notes.
dragon shouts? Doing the dragon shout song? Open the door, please. Thank you.
Man, he really got into that gesticulation.
Let's
with
trigger
that
this once
spell.
for fun. Lydia, stand
Here's
there.
something that is occurring to me. One of the reasons that so
It
many
looked
of
like
the
it hit you.
of the Fallout dungeons, I think, work so much better isn't just because the writing's better, it's because they feel often, at least in some capacity, like places. Almost every dungeon in this game feels like it is a dungeon that is just sort of, I don't know, a tomb of vagueness of
shit.
people did stuff here, but we don't know what. Fallout had factories, it had offices, it had schools. You felt like you were in a place. Who exactly is using this? This is just a tomb, just like the other tombs we've been in. It's It's not that they don't feel like real places. It's that they just all feel dungeon-y, I guess. They're just
Like
not...
if we were attacking a base, instead of filling like one of these tombs with mages the way they do sometimes, if the mage fortress was a giant library, so that you would just have like, oh, okay, here they have a library, and it feels like it feels like there's a reason for them to be in this type of place.
And, you know, I don't want to knock this because I actually thought it was really good design when they first started doing this. But it really doesn't help how at the end of every dungeon you find a doorway that conveniently leads straight to the entrance, but that was previously inaccessible. It leads a Disneyland feel to the whole place.
It does, but I can't bring
myself.
myself.
Now exiting the ride.
Please exit through the gift shop.
Although the alternative is worse. That alternative would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Rage did this
maybe
too,
just-
and it was a
it
problem
felt like
there
it
as
made
well.
a little more sense.
Everything is horseshoe shaped, where you come in one side and come back around almost to where you came in.
It's hard to level sneak
you
when
know,
everything
making
sees
them
you.
making them horseshoe shaped and having the thing you're after at the far end of the bend, so you can go through either way, might be an interesting approach.
Is Lydia once again stuck back there? God damn it!
You know, I really think
is
it
it with
would have
this
actually just
dungeon?
been worthwhile to have a backtrack to entrance button.
Oh, but then you've got situations
What?
where they'd have to disable it.
I can
when somebody
pickpocket this guy. Let's put something in his pants. Let's put this baked potatoes.
put a grenade
Oh
in there.
crap!
Wait, did
I
you?
ate the baked potatoes instead of giving the. You've been caught pickpocketing.
Oh no.
A ghost. Did that add a bounty? Is he gonna narc on us?
If we had the pickpocketing perk that allows you to take
Oh
the
shit! He's
weapons,
attacking me.
take their ghost pants. What? For the crime of attempting to put a baked potato into my ghost butt, you shall die.
Where's Lydia when we need her?
You should have been there to hold my baked potato for me.
Oh my god, he's invincible! Why can he attack me? Like, not even the immortal thing, like, he is literally unkillable and unhurtable!
Well, because he's
Did
dead.
we just level twice in close proximity?
We've leveled like 3 times in this dungeon.
Probably a good thing we did this then.
Well, can I have my bread back then?
Nope, he just have himself a little snack now.
I wonder if this actually gives me any XP. Probably not, because it's not doing damage.
I think
Yeah, I
maybe you
think
need
you're
to let him calm down.
Hey guys, it's loot time. Let's make sure we get all these identical corpses with their 7 gold and shit.
Oh, he's leaving you alone now to kill him.
Yeah, I hope he gets killed.
Luckily, the railroad tracks can save you from disasters, in addition to preventing you from going off and making them.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, where it's like, well, we can't, like...
I feel like this guy should be really pissed off. This King Olaf. This guy woke him up so that he could be an invincible ghost and kill him. Bye.
So yeah, sorry, you were saying.
Oh, I was just saying, like, you know...
Oh, goddammit, come out here!
all of the, all of the railroading is there because we don't want the game to let you do something that would look stupid. And, you know, like putting bread in the pants of a ghost and having the ghost go try to kill you.
I like how
at a
you're
certain
eating all
level,
this
that
raw
makes
food.
this game. That makes this game just feel really, you know, unresponsive. It feels like none of your actions besides the, like, most blindly obvious ones matter, then what does your input actually ultimately matter in the game?
In this game, it doesn't, because all you do is kill things and level up.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'm gonna activate cheats and fucking kill you, Skonvir.
I guess I just didn't like the growing sense.
Oh,
that
now
quest
now
lines-
he's fine.
The quest lines didn't want me to be
Fuck you.
there.
Well, I mean, they want you to be there insofar as they want someone to watch the quest stuff happen. You know, I mean, they wanted us
You
to
are
watch
here as a
Scanvir
witness.
fight Olaf, the evil guy, and that was supposed to be...
It's like that shit. It's like that Damn of the Rings comic.
Yes.
We buy you pizza so you'll shut up. Yes, it's a beautiful symbiosis.
What is that? That's a coin bag, but I can't get it.
I also
Come on,
want to
what
say
is
that I
this?
like how you couldn't make money by hitting him because you can't hurt him.
But attempting to shove bread into his ethereal pockets, that was unforgivable. That was worth murdering this guy who found
Okay,
your
Josh,
purse and all this
Josh.
shit.
Dead or not, if I was standing next to you and you saw me, like, reaching for your pants with a loaf of bread, your reaction would be pretty negative, too. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I mean...
But it's just this clear case where their attempts to keep you from fucking with things clearly made stuff worse. They're like, oh, what happens if the player attacks
how did
the
you get
ghost
over
and he
here?
gets mad and fights back? You know, that'll just break immersion. So let's just make it so that when the player hits it, it doesn't do any damage. That way the ghost doesn't get mad. There. But then when you get the ghost mad through the
fixed.
method they didn't think of, he can't be stopped.